minor technical difficulty that I've got fixed. You know, here's the thing: is that in today's world, we're living in a very stressed out world. I'm sure you feel stressed, maybe not all the time, but you feel stressed. I'm sure that if you talk to people around you, they feel stressed out, and it's something that you. I mean, I find myself talking about it to people all the time. The world is stressed out. Maybe it's they're worried about their health. Maybe they're worried about COVID. Maybe they're worried about the vaccine. Maybe they're worried about the fact that they really can't do the travel that they'd like to do. That's one of the things that stresses me out. I've decided I'm not going to get vaccinated at least for a while till I see if this thing is totally safe. But so I'm banned from doing a lot of different kinds of travel that I like to do, and so it stresses you out. You may not feel stressed out, but you are. And then the whole financial situation that's going on in the world, and the job situation, the employment situation. If you go to your favorite restaurant, you're going to find that in a lot of cases they're understaffed. And you go to your favorite businesses to buy supplies or whatever it happens to be, and they just don't have the workers that they used to have. And if you own a business, you're just not getting the quality of employees, and so we live in a stressed out world. You can't take and survive on the regular nutrition that you normally do when you live in a stressed out world. I mean, it's just a fact, because what happens is it messes up the adrenal glands. It increases the cortisol levels, and they mess up with your hormonal levels. And when these hormonal levels get screwed up, all havoc can break loose, and blood sugars and insulin levels, all of that can get messed up. And excuse me, my dog wants to bug me again because he sees me working. But there's special nutrition that you need for that. Then on top of it, we're living in a toxic world. There's a lot of toxins. If you go to the grocery store and you buy food, so much of the food is tainted with toxins, and it's not good. And then we add on top of that the fact that our food just doesn't have the nutrition that it used to have. It's a known fact that if you take a look at fruits and vegetables from the 1950s till now, I'll just use lettuce as my example, and the reason I use lettuce is because I've been using this as an example for a long time. A head of lettuce in 1955 had the same amount of nutrition as 12 to 15 heads of lettuce today. Think about that. So you have to eat 12 heads of lettuce to get the same nutrition as one head of lettuce 55 years ago. That's a big difference. That's a big difference. And so what are you doing about it? What are you doing about it? And what are your friends doing about it? What's your family doing about it? And if they're not addressing these issues, if they're just saying, "Hey, look, I'm gonna eat right. I'm going to cut out the processed foods. I'm going to cut out the low nutrition foods." Yeah, that helps. That helps, but it doesn't make up the it doesn't make up for everything. And so I just kind of wanted to cover some essential products tonight. A friend of mine asked me the other day. She said that she was presenting Eternity, Sisel Eternity, to one of her friends, and her friend said, "Well, why don't I just go online and go to Amazon or an online store and just buy some resveratrol? I can get resveratrol cheaper there." And that prompted me to think about what I was going to talk about on tonight's call. That prompted me to take into consideration, how many times do we have people that do that? They decide that, well, okay, Dr. Curt talked about resveratrol. I'm just going to go Google resveratrol and I'm going to buy some resveratrol. Well, there's a difference, and we'll talk about that. I was just talking to Tom Jr. this afternoon about our Brain Vitality product. He's made some advances in the formulation, and made some changes so that it complies with global standards. You know, we have the FDA here. Down in Australia, they have the TGA. Up in Canada, they have Health Canada. European, Japanese, they all got different regulatory bodies that you have to abide by. And so we were talking about brain vitality, how he's changed the formulation in that. And we were, you know, kind of just, I can't tell you what exactly we were talking about, but some, you know, some different ideas out there as far as some, you know, products and things like that and changes. And so the goal is that we're going to keep the products up to date with current science, and we're going to make products that are going to make a difference in your life, because that's what's important. And so I made some slides quickly this morning, and I thought I'd share them with you. So hang on one second, and I will do that. So I just kind of made a simple set of slides here, nothing really fancy. You're not going to notice any fancy things on my slides today. Sisel products, what sets them apart? What sets them apart from everything else that's on the market? And so I just wanted to cover what I'm going to consider kind of what I think is the key essential products that really we can't live without. And I mean that, you know, fucoidan. And you might say, well, I've lived without it, and hundreds of thousands, millions of people have lived without fucoidan. Why all of a sudden is this something that's necessary? Well, like I said, we live in a toxic world. We live in a world where, on average, they're saying that the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 is somewhere. I've seen reports from 16 to 1 omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, all the way up to 25 to 1. Omega-6 is a pro-inflammatory, and you're going to notice I'm going to talk about the benefits of omega-6 as well. Right now, with COVID, we need to have a certain group of omega-6s. I talked about it on Tuesday on my doctor's clinic call, but you have to watch the balance of that, because if you get too much, now you're going to cause inflammation. Well, fucoidan is a product that has been shown. Fucoidan has been shown in studies, not our fucoidan, but fucoidan, brown seaweed extract, lima mui, has 1,700 studies that show that it's the benefits ranging from enhanced immunity. Think about that. Right now, with what's going on in the world, isn't it important to keep your immune system up? You bet it is. Maintenance of healthy glucose levels. We're seeing more and more people getting diagnosed with diabetes and problems with blood sugar. We're seeing more and more people having hormonal problems and circulatory problems. And one of the things, and you know, you might say, hey, Curt, doc, you're a conspiracy thinker, blah, 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 blah. Hey, look, I'm just looking at the research, and I look at both sides of the coin. And there's a group of doctors that say that this vaccine isn't all what it's cracked up to be, that there's some things in it that cause residual problems regarding this spike protein. And it can cause myocarditis. And so why not have a product in your arsenal, in your toolkit, in your refrigerator every day that helps with circulatory problems? I mean, for those of you that have tried it, I think it tastes great. I think you'd agree with me. It has a great taste. You just have to do a small shot glass of it every morning or every night. When I feel like I've been exposed to anything, if I feel like I'm coming down with anything, I take extra doses. And like it says, you know, and this is information directly from the Sisel website. I pulled it directly off of there, so that if people want to say, well, you know, where'd you get that information? It's directly off the website, the Sisel website. So it's been researched. We have 20 full-time research scientists that work at Supernaturals, that work at our factory where we make our own nutrition. And this is one of the things that sets us apart, because if you're having somebody else make the products, you don't know exactly what's going in the products. I mean, they might tell you, yeah, it's the highest grade of brown seaweed extract that you can get. Okay, right? It might be, but then again, it might not be. I've seen where Dr. Oz has done studies on he did a study last year or maybe the year before on CBD products, and he took 50 different CBD products, and of the 50 or so CBD products that he was testing, he found that 80% or better didn't have in their product what they said they had in their product. A number of years ago, the Minneapolis Star Tribune, a large newspaper, national newspaper, they did a study, and they took a number of different glucosamine products. Glucosamine is a glucosamine sulfate, MSM, chondroitin sulfate. Renovator is our product that falls in that category. But they took 50 different products in that category, and they tested them. And they found that 45 out of the 50 didn't have what it said on the label. It might have said 500 milligrams of glucosamine. It didn't have it. Folks, I'm telling you, this is what we're up against. And this is, I run into people all the time that says, oh, I tried glucosamine, I tried MSM, I tried one of those Lima Mui products, and I didn't get the results that you're talking about. Yeah, I've heard that too. And, I'll tell you a short story. I like stories because my dad, when I first got into practice, my dad was using some of the products that I was giving him. And all of a sudden he wasn't using them anymore. And I said, what's up with that? And he said, I found the same thing over at Walmart. It's cheaper. Folks, there's a reason it's cheaper. There's a reason it's cheaper. It's they don't make their own products, number one. So they've got a middleman in there. They've got at least one middleman in there. You've got to pay that middleman. You've got to pay the manufacturer. We make our own products. So we take that savings, and what we do is we increase the quality of our product. We make our product better. We don't increase our profits. And people say, well, yeah, but you're a network marketing company. You got to pay, the network marketers. You got to pay all the upline and the downline. Well, if you take a look at it, if you take a look at our profit center, you take a look at our commission structure, we pay out 50%. We pay out 50%. If everything goes right, and all the dots are crossed and all the T's are dotted, or the other way around, and the I's are dotted, and we pay out 50%. So most of the time we're not even paying out the 50%, but we pay out 50%. And so from the cost of the product going to the end user, it's marked up 50%. Now I'll tell you what, when I bought a product in my clinic and I bought it from XYZ company and I put it on my shelf, I marked it up 25 to 50% just for my cost margin. And there's a reason for that. I'm not going to get into all that, but because there's overhead that you have there that you don't have with network marketing as far as inventory and things like that. But think about that. The markup, and you got people that are going to say that to you, and you just tell them the truth. You say, hey, look, you don't think that the grocery store is going to make some money? You don't think that the food broker, the nutritional broker, the person that brought that nutritional product over to the grocery store isn't making a cut on that? And then the manufacturer has to make a cut on that as well. We manufacture our own products, so yeah, we're probably making a small cut on the front end, and I'm sure the company's making a cut before they get it to us, but they're only paying out 50% as far as the profit margin. And when you compare it to the other high quality nutritional products on the market, I'm telling you, I sold them in my clinic, were approximately the same price. Anyhow, getting back to fucoidan, there's lots of Lima-Mui products on the market. What's the difference? Tom Sr., a long time ago, invested millions of dollars and years in research into developing a patented process where he could sulfonate. That's an important word. He could sulfonate all 8 of the molecules found in the fucoidan that we have. And most fucoidan products that are on the market have only 1 of the 8 molecules that are sulfonated. So think about that. We've got all 8 are highly sulfonated. They have 1 out of 8. So that means right out of the chute, our product is more functional just based on that. It's more bioavailable. It's going to be more effective. I remember Tom telling me that when he developed this, the Japanese that developed that had a fucoidan product, because they've been using fucoidan over in the eastern countries for a long time. They tried to buy the patent from him, and he said, absolutely not. And if you've ever been to the manufacturing plant and you see this, it's just an amazing piece of equipment. And fucoidan not only gets rid of the inflammation, but it helps out with blood sugar levels. I got people who are diabetic that they go on fucoidan, they find that it helps their blood sugar levels. And, there's a lot of people that have problems with it. Here in the United States, they say that 70% of people are obese or overweight. Well, that's probably due to a blood sugar problem. It supports liver function. It supports energy, focus, and clarity. And who doesn't need that? It improves mood. And it supports a healthy immune system. So great product. I think that if you're going to go on one Sisel product, consider this to be the product of choice, because it helps out with so many different things. And then we move on to a Sisel Eternity. And I was talking earlier about this resveratrol. Well, a doctor at Harvard, he's actually originally from Australia. I won't mention his name because he doesn't like people to mention his name. He gets all bent out of shape out of it. But anyhow, so resveratrol is an extract that they found in grape seed and grape skins, and they found that it helps to support a specific gene. It's called the sirtuin gene, the SIRT1 gene. And what the SIRT1 gene does is a gene that's responsible for DNA repair. And as we get older, of course, we tend to kind of lose that DNA repair. Our repair process in our body kind of goes down. Our batteries start to run out, as it says here. And resveratrol with the SIRT1 gene seems to help that. Very, very important. And so people say, well, I can just go buy resveratrol. I can buy a powdered form. I can buy it in a capsule. Well, here's the difference is that when resveratrol is exposed to oxygen, when it's oxidized, what happens is that it becomes less effective. And so Tom Sr. figured out how to microencapsulate the nano-sized particles of resveratrol in this, so that it's not ever exposed to oxygen, and he reverse fills the bottle with nitrogen, so that the resveratrol never gets exposed to oxygen, and by doing so, it makes it that much more effective. And so we have just that much more bioavailable resveratrol, and it supports a healthy DNA. It helps protect it against the free radicals. They're showing that it helps with energy. It activates and it supports the SIRT1 gene. And just so many different things. But the big difference is that the way that we make the resveratrol. Again, if you have people that say, well, I'm just going to go buy it at the store. Well, you can't. You can't. There's probably a handful of companies that make their resveratrol the proper way. And then we take a look at Spectramax. And, I remember I was sitting with Tom up at his cabin up in the mountains about 5 years ago, and it was before Age Pill came out. And I said, Tom, what's your favorite product? If you could buy one Sisel product, what would it be? And he didn't even have to think about it. He said Spectramax. He said most people just don't understand what's in Spectromax. There's 74 trace minerals, there's 40 antioxidants, and when you compare it to anything else that's on the market, I mean, I'm telling you, go look at a mineral product. Go look at a product that says that they have vitamins and minerals. You're not going to find 74 essential trace minerals in their product. It's just not there. And then on top of it, we've added this fulvic acid, and I'll talk about fulvic acid in a little bit on another slide here when we get to that. But it has fulvic acid, and fulvic acid, it's what they consider to be a miracle molecule that grabs toxins and pulls them out of the cells, and then it grabs the nutrition, it grabs the minerals and the nutrients, and it pulls them into the cell. I mean, I'm telling you, folks, you're not going to find that. Again, these three products, they make up what we call the triangle of life, right? And they're essential. In my opinion, every single person on the planet should be on these three products. Every single month, you should be taking a dose of every single one of these products. And just think about it. I mean, if everybody took it, we'd start seeing improved health. We'd start seeing some of the DNA repair. I mean, I'm seeing some critical situations reversed using these three products. And then we get into the age pill, and you know, I don't know. Maybe this would be considered Tom Senior's favorite product nowadays, but it is the best-selling product that we have. I think that, you know, for my money, I think the triangle of life would probably be more essential, those three products, than this, because it's hitting so many of the basics. It's hitting so many biological processes, and then I think this would be my fourth product. You know, my fourth go-to product, because they've shown that as we age, we tend to lose some of the ability to repair, and what happens is that we start to decay and we start to degenerate faster than the repair processes is going on, and that's what aging is. So the age pill, AGE, it stands for anti-glycation extreme. Glycation is that process where we start to degenerate, and that degeneration is due to lipofusion and the glycated end products, which are the side effects of burning sugar and fat as energy. And I mean, you just look at the testimonials that we've seen since we came out with this product. It was 4 years ago in July that we came out with this product, and it's just an amazing product, and it helps to fuel ATP and NAD, which are the hydrogen fuels for our cells. And so when we're using a product like this, it helps to fuel all those biological processes, and it helps with the resveratrol. So when you're taking Eternity and you're taking the age pill, the ingredients work together. The ingredients work together. And you know, folks, I can't make any diagnoses. I can't make any claims of treatment or cure or prevention of any disease with any of these products. All I can say is that it supports these systems. And I can say that if you look at the testimonials that we've seen, it's just completely amazing what we're seeing with these different things. If you have an extra, you know, if you're looking for a way that you can fuel your body and you can feel the effects of age reversal, go on these four products. Spend the money. I mean, you're worth it. You're worth it for about the cost of what it costs for a good cup of coffee out at one of these coffee shops. I don't go to any of my. I drink coffee at home, but if you go out and you go out and have a hamburger once a week, you go out and have a meal at a restaurant once a week, you're spending more money than it would cost to buy these products. Stay home one day and buy these four products and see what it does for you. I'm telling you, you're going to see a lot of changes. And then I think this is probably up there in the top as well. For Restore, And I remember when Tom first came out with this product and we were talking, nitric oxide is a molecule in your body that signals other molecules to perform important functions. And it supports a healthy cardiovascular system. It helps to slow the aging process. And right now, with what's going on in the world with COVID and everything that's going on, um, the studies are showing that nitric oxide is that much more important. Again, you know, and I'm not trying to make your decision on whether you get vaccinated or you don't get vaccinated, but you know, the thing about it is what it's your choice. And the studies that some doctors are showing is that it triggers some autoimmune things. And all of these first products that I've talked about help with that. And way back when, you know, a year ago, when this thing was, when they were just discovering a lot of the things about this COVID virus, there were studies that came out on nitric oxide. Google it. And it helps to increase the blood flow. It helps to get rid of inflammation. It helps circulation. It increases the energy and the vitality of the cells. And you listen to people who have what they call the long haulers with the COVID virus. I mean, they tell you that they're fatigued, they're tired a lot. Here's a product that you can recommend that maybe it'll help. Maybe it'll help support that system, right? And again, we can't say, oh, it cures that and it gets rid of it. All we're saying is that maybe it'll help for restore. So I was talking earlier about fulvic acid and how important fulvic acid is. Fulvic acid is a miracle molecule. These scientists consider it a miracle molecule because it pulls nutrition into the cell and it pulls toxins out. Tom developed this product when his friends over in Japan were having problems after the nuclear disaster that they had a number of years ago, because they found that this works on helping get radiation out of the body. It also breaks down and eliminates toxins, and it removes heavy metals from the body. And he's combined fulvic acid with some of the fucoidan, the limamui, to make it so it's that much more powerful. And right now, if you remember the talks you can go back or get a hold of me and I'll get you some of the talks, that the recordings where Tom Sr. was talking about how fulvic acid attaches to the spike protein on this virus and on these coronaviruses, and it attaches to the spike protein. And if you think about it, like, you know, here you got a little porcupine with all these little spikes poking out, and you take and you put a little tennis ball on the tip of every spike. Well, that spike isn't pointy anymore. It can't attach. And what happens is that when that spike attaches to your body, what it does is that it gives that virus a chance to get to release things into the cell, and then the virus can replicate. So if you can stop that, you can support the body's system of staying healthy. So again, I mean, you can see why right now, with what's going on in the world, this is a very important product to be on. It's a very important product, and I can't say it cures, I can't say it treats, I can't say it prevents, and everything like that. But you know, so then I start talking about Sisel influence, and if you had asked me 2 years ago if this would be on my list of what I considered essential products, I not even probably, I would have told you no. This isn't on my list. This would have been on the bottom of the list. This would have been on the list for, well, take it during the flu season. That's what I would have told you. Or I would say, take it if you tend to get sick a lot. I would have said something dumb like that, because we just weren't having a problem back then. But now all of a sudden, we've got an issue going on in the world, and so Sisel Influence has elderberry extract, which has been shown to help boost the immune system. It shows to help with supporting the body's system to fight the viruses. We've got these xanthocyanins, we've got lactoferrin, we've got curcumin, which curcumin is just so important. You'll find it in our brain product, you'll find it in our joint product, you'll find it in our digestive product, and now here we are, we're finding it in one of our products for the immune system, because it helps with the macrophages, getting rid of all these microorganisms that cause problems. And then if you go back to the call that I did on Tuesday with Andrea, we talked about this ingredient called star anise. And star anise, it tastes like you probably got it up in your spice rack. It's amazing how many herbs are actually spices, but it tastes kind of like licorice, and it has an ingredient in it. It's called shikimic acid, and shikimic acid is another one of those ingredients that helps to block this spike protein. And I talked a lot about it on Tuesday. I'm not going to get into it today. Quercetin, I talked about it on Tuesday. Again, it helps with this spike protein. Zinc, I talked about it on Tuesday on a call where I talked a lot about this product without naming the product, because I was going over all of the research on it. And if you're on my team, I'll send you that recording out tonight yet. But these ingredients, they help to support a healthy immune system. That's what we can say. We can say this, is that when you take a look at the elderberry extract and you take a look at the star anise extract, guess what? There's a drug on the market that is for fighting the flu, and I'm not going to name the name of the drug, but there's a drug on the market that they took and they copied these natural ingredients and put them into a drug. So if they're doing that, what does that tell you? It works. It works. And selenium, I don't know how many years ago I was at a nutritional seminar, and they said at that time, they said, make sure that if you're doing any kind of anti-aging, that you make sure that people get their selenium. Earlier, I was talking about omegas. I was talking about the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, 14 to 1, 15 to 1, 25 to 1. It's supposed to be 1 to 1. If we lived in a perfect world, we would have a ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 at a ratio of 1 to 1. And the scientists, they're telling us that we should try and at least get it to 4 to 1 in our diet. And the omega-6s, they help to lower bad cholesterol. They help to increase healthy cholesterol. But omega-6s can cause some issues with inflammation. Right now, during this pandemic that we're having, there's an omega-6 called linoleic acid. And linoleic acid is another one that helps to fight this spike protein. A study in Europe, they took and they took a number of the COVID virus cells, and they injected or surrounded them with linoleic acid, which is an omega-6 fatty acid. It comes from sunflower seeds and safflower seeds and flax oil and things like that. And they surrounded these COVID virus with the linoleic acid. And what they found is that it caused the virus to actually quit replicating. And if it can't replicate, eventually it dies. Folks, I'm telling you, this is important stuff, but you don't want to get too much because it causes inflammation, and so you got to balance that out. So if you're gonna take extra linoleic acid, if you're gonna eat a bunch of sunflower seeds or pecans or Brazil nuts and flaxseed, things like that, make sure to increase your omega-3. Make sure you increase your omega-3. So Sisel Super Omega, why is it Super Omega? Why is it Super Omega Plus? Because we've added the omega-3 and we've added the omega-5 and we've added the 6 and the 7 and the 9, and then we've added CoQ10 as well. And you've heard me say this before, that most companies actually don't use CoQ10. They don't use an active form of CoQ10. It breaks down, and they're actually using something that that I guess it's CoQ9, and it's not the right form. And so Super Mega, again, you can see why I'm putting this on the list of especially right now. This is a key nutritional product that every single one of us should be on. Every single person in your family should be on this. It helps with the cardiovascular function. It helps with healthy blood pressure. It helps with brain activity. You need healthy fat for the brain and cellular fuel, and if you're trying to lose weight like I am, you need it as well, and it helps to balance out those blood sugars. But again, right now with everything that's going on, the omega-6, and go back to a call that I did on Tuesday. I'll send it out to everybody that's on my team, and you'll have a copy of that. And then we talk about Avenger, and Avenger is a product that Tom developed because a group of people, well, a lot of people. We don't hear about it as much anymore because another target has hit the news, but Lyme disease, and they found that some of these ingredients really helped out with fighting some of the systems in the body that were getting damaged from Lyme disease, and it's kind of really ancient medicine mixed with modern medicine, natural medicines, from the medicine men and things like that. And again, you'll look, it's got lime extract, vitamin C, antioxidants. It's got that elderberry that I talked about earlier, lotus leaf, olive leaf extract, chaga. Here's one that I haven't talked about yet today, chaga extract. Chaga is a fungus that grows on the side of birch trees up here in the northern country where I live, and it's considered kind of the king of the herbs, is what they call it over in Russia, because it's so good for boosting the immune system and supporting a healthy immune system. But they also find that it helps with stress, and again, we're living in a stressful time, back a number of years ago when we came out with our healthy coffee, I did a lot of research on chaga, and I found out that certain groups in the world, certain populations, they make sure that they have chaga tea that they give to their important dignitaries and athletes and politicians and things like that. So if they're using it, shouldn't you? And then ashwagandha, I've talked a lot about ashwagandha with our Sizzle Thin product, with the weight loss product, because it balances out cortisol. Cortisol goes up. You hear a lot about it when you're dealing with stress, and cortisol causes a lot of issues with it basically sabotages a weight loss program, and so ashwagandha helps to balance out that cortisol level, and there's just tons and tons and tons of study, and it helps out with so many different things. But right now, the main reason I'm covering this tonight is because, again, I don't care where you sit. I don't care what your beliefs are, vax, no vax, sick, not sick. You need this. This is something that and maybe you can't afford to do the full dose of it. Maybe you do a partial dose, or I would tell you minimum take 3 or 4 of these capsules every single day, and it's going to help out with that immune system. Here's another one that I think fits really in the category of immunity. It's to help with the digestive system, and the digestive system, the gut lining, really is your immune system. This is where your immune system sits. 70 to 80% of your immune system is down in your gut, And so this product has been developed specifically for that. It provides the cultures of these microorganisms, the healthy microorganisms that live inside your digestive system, and then it has the fuel to feed those healthy bacteria, because the unhealthy bacteria, the ones that cause problems, they live on sugar, and we get plenty of that. It's added to a lot of our food and all the carbohydrates that we eat. We get plenty of that. This uses things that fibers that help to feed to fuel the healthy bacteria, and that's what you want. And then the microfibers, help to remove excess waste. They're saying that for the most, you know, we're getting a third to half of the fiber that's recommended by the regulatory organization. So, anything that you can do to increase that fiber, and that's going to help with the immune system. Again, right now, with the stress and everything that's going on in the world, you got to have a healthy immune system. And then, you know, balancing out your body's immune system, you've got to have all the other stuff. Here it is, Encompass 360. 360 degrees. It's a well-rounded product. That's why it's Encompass 360. And you go back, you look at what our grandparents had. They ate healthy food. They'd go to the garden. They had, fruit cellars where they kept, the food as long as they could that would last through the winter, and then in the spring, they'd have they have to go out and gather up more of that. It's got fulvic acid to help pull that nutrition into the cells, like I was talking about earlier, and it's a blend of all these different things that your body needs to kind of round that out. 360 degrees, right? And according to Linus Pauling, he got the Nobel Prize twice, and he said that if you have a chronic disease, chances are you're missing some sort of key nutrition, right? And uh, and so here's a great product for that. And brain vitality, brain vitality. We're missing so much of that nutrition that goes to the brain. And if you look at the website, and here's a copy of the website. The information I have here is comes directly from the Sisel website. The formulation has changed. Tom has actually changed the formulation. I talked to Tom Jr. today. He changed the formulation so that it would be accepted globally, because some of the ingredients he couldn't get into some of the other countries, and so he added different things, and he took away and made it so that it's going to give us a great brain support product. And it's 8 times more bioavailable than most of the other traditional brain supplements that you have on the market. And I can go through a lot of these ingredients, but Bacopa helps the brain so that you have good brain connections. Curcuma longa, which is a turmeric, curcuminoid, which helps with getting rid of inflammation. Inflammation is part of the complex of every single chronic condition that we have, and then we have fenugreek, and that helps with blood sugars, and helps with libido and mood and mental awareness. Folks, just one quick testimonial. My dad, he's one of those guys of very few words, and he was telling me one day that he was noticing that he just wasn't getting his thoughts out like he used to. And so I said, here, try this product. And I put him on Brain Vitality. This was a number of years ago. And he went on it, and he told me 2 weeks later, he said, holy cow. He said, I'll never go without that product. And he hasn't. He hasn't gone without this product. Even when supplies were low and we were having problems with inventory, I made sure that I had plenty of Brain Vitality stocked up for my dad, because this is one of those essential products for him. And I think that right now, we think about it again with all the stress and everything that's going on in the world. We've got to support a healthy brain. So anyhow, that's the end of the slide presentation that I put together. Really, kind of a short and sweet thing. I know it took me almost an hour to go through everything, but it's important. It's important. These are key things that you can share with other people. You can share them in a way that it makes sense to them. You can share them in a way that they can see, why am I recommending that product? Why am I recommending this versus, just telling you, hey, go to the store and buy some fenugreek, buy some, magnesium. Why am I recommending this product? The Mowers are master formulators. What that means is that they know what ingredients to put together. Put this with that, the yin, the yang, and make the product more effective. I mean, if I just give you magnesium and I say, here, take this, it's not going to be as effective as what you might have in brain vitality. That's because there's a blend to it. There's a blend to that. And so, folks, thanks for being with me tonight. I really appreciate it. Get this out there. Get this message out to other people. Let them know that they can have better health. They let them know that they can do some things. They can be proactive on taking care of themselves. They don't have to wait until they get sick and then go, oh, well, I got to go to the hospital now. Oh, well, I got to get that surgery. All right. Thanks for being with us tonight.